In this lesson, we're gonna discover a little bit more about the part design workbench, and we're gonna continue to use other modeling tools to create different shapes. So in the previous video, we saw we can start from a 2D and then we can go forward with the printing using the textural workbench and creating like a page that we can then print or we can export for graphic design and improve it in another graphic design software. And otherwise, we can just proceed with the 3D, creating the various walls and, well, adjusting the transparency and if we want to see through or not. So we can proceed in 3D using different workbenches. So one way is to use the part, and another is to use the part design. Now we started the video course by exploring these different workbenches and knowing the various tools. And we discovered that in the draft workbench, we have a lot of tools that can be handy also in 3D, and vice versa. We have something in 3D that can be handy also in here in the draft. For example, we saw that when we want to quickly extrude, we always need to go on the part or in the part design, and we need to choose the extrusion or extrude tool. Now, to make this more handy and user-friendly, we can also customize our workbenches and our toolbars specifically. So we can add some more commands here in the part workbench, in the part design, and in the draft. I'm going to make just a couple of examples. For example, here in the draft, when we start to work in 3D, we don't really have like 3D tools, but we have a lot of really important tools like the snaps and the transforms and the arrays, etc., which we can also use in 3D, by the way. So what we cannot access fast here is the extrude. But you can see up here that I have extrude. But this is not from the draft workbench. This is from the part workbench. So I can add more tools in here. But it's pretty simple. Let me show you. If I right click with the mouse on the toolbars, now you may see some extra here that you don't have because I created myself. Like this one here, I call it 3D. So if I turn it off, you can see it's no more in there. So if you want to create a similar toolbar, you need to go here to customize. And let's expand this a little bit. So in the customize panel, you can customize keyboard shortcuts. We already addressed that in another lesson. And then you have toolbars. So this is where you can create or modify or remove, etc., toolbars. Now we are in the draft workbench. You can see it right here. You can also do this globally, meaning that you're going to create toolbars that can be added anywhere, not just like in a draft or in another. So let's assume you want to work in a draft. And this is the one that I already created. So let me just delete it. Okay, so it's not going to be there anymore. So let me just show you. If I close this and I go there, right click, you can see it's not going to be available anymore. So to create it, I can right click and go to customize. Another option is to go to tools, customize, and again, we're back in the same panel. Toolbars, we are in the draft. We just create a new toolbar. And I'm gonna call these like 3D tools for 2D. Or I can call these like from 2D to 3D. You can call these whatever you want. And once you have it, this is now empty. You need to put inside the commands that you want to use. For example, if I'm looking for something I know that is in the part workbench, I can go directly here. Or you can add commands that you find in the tool in the menus, so in the drop-down menus. So let's go into part. And now I can choose which of these I want to add. So for example, maybe I'm interested in, let me see here, like union, like Boolean. But that's the extrude. This is the one I was looking for. So to put this inside here, just click on the arrow and there it is. Now, I may want to add also union. And then I scroll down and see if I am interested in something else, like Revolve, which is another modeling tool that we're gonna see, or scale. And now let's say I'm happy with this, I can just close, and you will see the new toolbar right there. So now I don't need to go to the part design or part workbench every time I need to extrude. So if I create something here right away, I can just click on extrude, type on the number here, the amount, and just click apply. And that's a way faster method to work on 2D and then build the 3D. And this is architecture, so it's pretty easy. We usually use extrusion, and rarely we use other modeling tools, but we're going to see the other modeling tools in the other videos. We're going to start also from this video. Now, another possibility, if we are in the part, here in the part, I've added some of the snaps and some of the transforming. And also you can see this one here is appearing. So right click, and maybe I don't want to use this right here because I already have these tools in this interface, so I don't need them to be like duplicated. So, but I may need some snapping and some drawing tools from the draft workbench. So it's like the opposite. So I can, again, right click, customize, go back into toolbars, and you see I created a couple of toolbars here. Now one is for the snap and another one is for the transform, because right now in this version of FREECAD, the transforming tools that you find in the part are not really handy. So the ones that you find in the draft are way better, like moving, rotating, scaling, and this is also the general transforming. If you need to find something specific you want to add to your toolbars, you can search here. For example, if I want to add like transforming tools, I can type transform. You can see here I have the ones for the sketch, and then I have something from part design, and then this is the general transforming tool that I can add. And then move and rotate a scale can be found in the draft. And again, if let's say I want to add like the clone from the draft, so I can look for it like this, or for example the arrays which are not available here, I can add those. So I can continue to modify the toolbars every time I enter here. Let's add some other snaps. So if I'm looking for snap, just gonna go here, snap, and you see again you have the category here, and if you're looking for something specific, you just type snap, and these are all the snaps. So I added here like the snap endpoint, snap midpoint, which I think are really important, but I can also add the extension or the snap to the grid, the intersection, etc., the ortho. So I can create the entire, or the snap to the working plane. I can create the entire set here of snaps and put them in the part workbench. So let's close this, and you can see now it's updated. Now, also, if you right click, you can lock the toolbars or unlock them. If you unlock them, you can then position these however you like. You can click and drag, you can create like even an extra line, but that's gonna sacrifice part of the working area. So I tend to put this like on a couple of lines, not more. So once you finish to arrange everything, you can just, lock them. So that's the one that I just created, and these are others here. So to prevent from adjusting them every time, you can just right click and lock. Okay, now that I've customized my new toolbar in my part workbench, I want to start working with the other tools here that we have in the 3D modeling. And you can see I created a new file for the lesson 16, so it's pretty clear and it doesn't have like many things around. So